10 things you need to know before marriage. Most people spend more time planning their wedding than preparing for their marriage. One day is about the party. The rest of your life is about everything else. And nobody warns you about the everything else. So today, no fairy tales, no feel-good fluff. Just 10 things that actually matter. The things that determine whether your marriage thrives or slowly falls apart. Let's get into it. 1. You are not marrying a person. You are marrying a pattern. That person you're in love with, they have patterns, the way they handle stress, the way they shut down during arguments, the way they treat people who can't do anything for them, the way they behave when life gets hard. Romance hides patterns, time reveals them. Psychology calls this behavioral consistency. Who someone is under pressure is who they actually are, not who they are on date nights or vacations. Pay attention to how they handle a bad day, a financial setback, a conflict with a family member. That's your preview of the next 30 years. Before you marry someone, ask yourself honestly, can I live with this person's patterns, not just their best moments? 2. Money will make or break you. Full stop. Nobody wants to talk about this before the wedding. Everyone wants to talk about it during the divorce. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of divorce worldwide. Not because money is more important than love, but because money touches everything. Where you live, whether you have kids, how you handle emergencies, whether one person feels controlled or trapped. You need to know their credit score, their debt, their spending habits, their relationship with money growing up, and, most importantly, whether you have compatible financial values. Someone who saves and someone who spends impulsively are not just different personality types. They are a slow-burning conflict waiting to ignite. Have the uncomfortable money conversation before you say, I do. All of it. No surprises. 3. Know how you both fight. Every couple fights. The ones who say they don't are either lying or storing it up for a spectacular breakdown later. What matters is how you fight. Research by psychologist Dr. John Gottman identified what he calls the 4 horsemen of relationship destruction: contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. If your arguments regularly involve any of these, someone shutting down completely, eye-rolling, attacking character instead of behavior, that is a serious red flag. Healthy conflict looks like staying on topic, listening to understand, taking breaks when things get too heated, and actually resolving things instead of just going quiet until it blows over. Before marriage, notice, do your arguments bring you closer eventually, or do they leave one of you feeling small? That pattern scales up, not down. 4. Your families come with the package. You are not just marrying a person, you are entering a family system. Their habits, their expectations, their dysfunction, their holidays, their opinions about how you should live your life. This doesn't mean you need to love their family, but you need to understand how your partner relates to their family and whether they have the ability to create healthy boundaries when necessary. A partner who cannot say no to their parents will struggle to fully prioritize your marriage. And look at your own family honestly too. The patterns you grew up with, how love was expressed, how conflict was handled, what was considered normal. You bring all of that in with you. Both of you do. Know the baggage. Talk about it. Before, not after. 5. Physical and sexual compatibility is not shallow, it's real. This one makes people uncomfortable, so most people avoid it. Then they spend years quietly resenting each other. Physical intimacy is not just about attraction. It's about connection, vulnerability, and feeling wanted. Mismatched expectations around intimacy, how often, what feels meaningful, what happens when one person is going through something. These gaps cause real damage over time. This isn't about being perfect for each other physically. It's about being honest about your needs and being with someone who actually respects and meets them. Silence on this topic before marriage does not make the conversation disappear. It just makes it harder later. 6. Shared values beat shared interests every time. You both love hiking and Italian food. Great. That's a fun relationship. But what do you believe about how children should be raised? About religion or faith? About gender roles in the home? About sacrifice, ambition, and what a good life actually looks like? Shared interests keep things fun. Shared values keep things together when things stop being fun. And there will be seasons when things stop being fun. If your core values are misaligned, you are not building a life together. You are building toward a negotiation that never ends. Get clear on what you actually stand for before you expect someone else to stand beside you. 7. You need to know yourself first. This is the one people skip entirely. You cannot choose a life partner clearly if you do not know who you are, what you actually need, what wounds you carry, what you tend to do when you feel unloved or threatened. Psychology calls this self-awareness, and research consistently shows it is one of the strongest predictors of relationship success. If you are marrying someone to feel complete, to escape your family, to meet a timeline, or because you are afraid of being alone, that is not a foundation. That is a pressure point waiting to crack. Ask yourself the hard question, am I ready for this? Or am I just ready to not be single anymore? There is a real difference. 8. Love changes, and you need to be okay with that. The feeling you have right now, that rush, that intensity, it will not stay exactly like this. That is not a failure. That is biology. The early stage of love is driven by neurochemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine. It is designed to be temporary, to get you attached. What replaces it, if you build it right, is deeper, more stable, more chosen. But many people panic when the rush fades and mistake it for falling out of love. They start looking elsewhere for the feeling instead of investing in the relationship in front of them. Real love long-term is a decision as much as it is a feeling. Know that going in. Be ready to choose each other on the days it doesn't feel electric. 9. Independence is not the enemy of a good marriage. The idea that two people should become everything to each other is one of the most damaging myths about marriage. Your partner cannot be your best friend, therapist, career advisor, social life, and emotional support system all at once. That is not romantic. That is exhausting. For both of you. Healthy marriages are built by two people who have their own identity, their own friendships, their own interests, and choose to share their life together rather than dissolve into it. The goal is not to need each other for everything. The goal is to genuinely want each other while also being whole on your own. Maintain your individual life. Encourage theirs. That space is not distance. It's what keeps the relationship breathing. 10. Timing is a factor. You cannot ignore. You can meet the right person at the wrong time, and the wrong time can break something that could have been great. Marriage requires a certain level of readiness, emotional maturity, stability, not perfection, but enough ground under your feet to build on. If one person is still figuring out who they are, still chasing something, still healing from something significant, that matters. Not as a judgment, but as a reality. Love is necessary, but not sufficient. The timing, the readiness, the life stage, these things are real. Be honest about where you both actually are, not just where you want to be. And finally, marriage is not a finish line. It is a starting point, and what you bring to it determines almost everything about where you end up. None of this is meant to scare you. It's meant to prepare you, because the people who go in with their eyes open are the ones who build something that actually lasts. So take one thing from today and have a real conversation about it. Not a comfortable one, a real one. That conversation might be the most important one you have before you walk down that aisle. If this hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop in the comments which point surprised you the most. And if you want more content that actually tells you the truth, subscribe. We don't do sugarcoating here.